Look, just like everybody else, I've been playing Tears of the Kingdom, but I keep seeing this one particular argument. The argument that Tears of the Kingdom, and by extension, Breath of the Wild, aren't real Zelda games. I get it. People will see elements of a traditional Zelda game differently. It's only natural. Some often imagine linear and tightly woven narratives. Some will say in order for it to be Zelda, it must have an overworld, dungeons, NPCs, side quests, epic boss fights, and beautiful, beautiful black women. But in truth, I think there's only one thing that makes a Zelda game a Zelda game. But we're gonna get to that later, okay? Just bear with me. Watch the whole video. I'm so serious. If my click-through rate and my viewer retention ain't through the roof on this video, I'm coming for y'all. A series doesn't have to stick to its roots for every new entry. Switch-ups and reinventions of older franchises often help make them feel fresh and brand new. This is why the notion that Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom aren't real Zelda games is not only absurd, but fails to acknowledge the transformative impact these games have had on the franchise. So I've drawn a little diagram of everything I feel people believe makes up a real Zelda game. And as we move along with this video, we're gonna make our way through this chart. We know that Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom obviously have monsters. Alright, we're gonna cross that out. They both have monsters. That's obvious, it's a given. They have towns and settlements. They have them. Okay. Link versus Ganondorf, that's something that happens in both games. A rideable horse or opponent, if you will, and arguably a green tunic. While you don't necessarily start with an OG tunic, you can find multiple traditional outfits in the game. And on top of that, I don't think the green tunic is what makes the Zelda game at its core. Definitely nostalgic though. Now, with what we have left, let's start with the dungeons, okay? Let's start with the dungeons. Breath of the Wild's dungeons were trash, okay? I have to say it, bro. Breath of the Wild's dungeons were absolute garbage, yo. The lack of unique music and theming within the dungeons, combined with their design's repetitive nature, ultimately detracted from the experience. Because of this, I can't honestly say that the Divine Beasts felt like Zelda dungeons. I'd argue that they were unrecognizable. The dungeons in Tears of the Kingdom, though, they're better than sex, bro. I'll put that on everything. They're honestly better than sex. And the elemental theming returned? Oh, they're better than sex. They're better than sex. So yeah, I think it's safe to say that both Breath of... Oh, fudge. I screwed it up. So the long lines, I didn't really think this through, but the long lines means that the game does not, it fails. So Breath of the Wild gets a long line for the dungeons, but Tears of the Kingdom, it has it. Just so it makes more sense. Pink will mean the game doesn't have it. Things aren't professional in this channel, get used to it. All right, next up, secrets. Secrets. Honestly, if I have to sit here and explain as to why Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom have more secrets than our world leaders and Hollywood execs combined, I'm gonna hurt someone. I'm gonna end up hurting someone, literally. Just go play the game, find out. Both games have secrets. A lot of secrets. A lot of secrets, all right? Okay, so this is a divisive one. Companions. Personally, even though Midna is the greatest Zelda character for obvious reasons. For obvious reasons. One more time for the niggas in the back. For obvious reasons. Despite all that curvature and thickness, I don't think a companion is what makes a Zelda game a Zelda game. If Ocarina of Time didn't have Navi, it'd still be one of my favorite Zelda games of all time. The same goes for Tattle and Tail, King of Red Lions, Ezlo, Linebeck, Fi, Would it be nice to have a prominent side character who's always by my side, occasionally appearing during my adventures in both Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom? Undoubtedly, it would add a pleasant touch to the overall experience, especially if they're as bad as Midna. But you still can't convince me that they're quintessential to the Zelda experience. Alright. Both games do not have companions. On to the bosses. Yeah, Breath of the Wild fails in this department 100%. 100%. Just like the dungeons, the Blight Ganon suffer from excessive similarity, making them unremarkable and uninspiring, to be frank. But Tears of the Kingdom, on the other hand, I want you to go on YouTube and search Wind Dungeon Battle Theme. Wind Dungeon Battle. Matter of fact, let me do it right now. No footage is needed. No footage is needed to prove my point. Just listen to that musical composition and then come back and tell me if you think that battle was lame. I'm gonna play it right now. I'm gonna play it right now. Turn it up. Turn it up. Turn it up. Listen, the bosses in Breath of the Wild, they may have been whack. But in Tears of the Kingdom, bro, nah, family. Nah, family. Nah, family. Tears of the Kingdom got the bosses. It got the bosses. I just danced for like 7 minutes. All right, key items. I would contend that when it comes to key items, both Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom have significantly disrupted the traditional formula. You gotta forgive me. I'm still trying to catch my breath. While these essential items still exist in the games, they are acquired right from the start. For instance, in Breath of the Wild, you obtain the Sheikah Slate runes on the Great Plateau, while in Tears of the Kingdom, you acquire the Ultra Hand abilities on the Great Sky Island. This departure from the norm makes it challenging to determine whether these items should be considered in the same vein as previous Zelda games, where key items were obtained periodically and not immediately. Nonetheless, it is worth noticing that these significant items are still integral to the gameplay experience in both games. Technically, both games have key items, so yeah, I think that's a pass, to be honest. I think it's a pass on both fronts. They both have them. They both have key items. This is what everyone has been waiting for. The musical instruments. Music has always played a significant role in the Legend of Zelda franchise, and admittedly, the lack of an instrument in Breath of the Wild was very apparent. And I'm almost 100% sure there isn't a musical instrument in Tears of the Kingdom. Unfortunately, it's a mechanic that has been abandoned since our leap into the open world. I know that many of us miss playing Saria's song on our ocarinas, conducting the wind, and howling like those annoying foxes that for some reason have to right outside my bedroom at night. They just have to do it. Every night. I firmly believe that music and consequently instruments are closely intertwined with the Zelda experience. While they may not define a Zelda game, their absence leaves a sense of emptiness within me. Because of this, I consider instruments to be an integral part of the Zelda experience. A part of the experience that is missing in both Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. So, because of that, this is so jank. It's like impossible to know. So, to recap, Breath of the Wild did not have themed dungeons. They were trash. No companions. The bosses were garbage. And no musical instrument. And Tears of the Kingdom has pretty much everything but companions and a musical instrument. Which leads us to the final, which is, if I can spell this correctly, linear-ish structure. I need to get better pens. In my opinion, linearity is the most important element in any Zelda game. So you might wonder why I made this video despite holding this belief. Well, while I do consider it to be vital, I don't believe linearity is the defining essence of a Zelda game. It certainly holds significance, but it isn't the heart of the experience. However, it undeniably contributes to creating a more personal and engaging journey. Honestly, once any Zelda game throws on that linear fit, the game goes from looking like one of these niggas to one of these niggas. It just works a little too well. And I wouldn't be honest if I didn't admit that I sometimes crave and miss those point A to point B focused Zelda games that present a tightly woven narrative that you have to follow. As much as I love Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, they are really overwhelming. And I'd be lying if I said Tears of the Kingdom hasn't given me the odd panic attack when surveying the scope of the world from above. There's so much to do, sometimes too much to do, and I find myself constantly getting distracted. In a peculiar way, I miss the old days of that small Hyrule field with its grandiose overworld music. I miss the top-down games that felt like navigating an interactive board game. I miss the old Zelda. But ultimately, it doesn't matter, because whether old or new, it's all still Zelda. At the heart of every Zelda game lies the spirit of adventure, a force that ignites the imagination and stirs the depths of our being. That's what makes a Zelda game a Zelda game. Who cares if I wake up in Kokiri Forest or the Shrine of Resurrection? Because the only thing that matters is that once I wake up, I'm going on an adventure I'll never forget. For the essence of a Zelda game lies not in the lists we can create, but in the characters we meet, the dialogue boxes we read, the stories we unravel, and the fleeting moments where laughter and tears intermingle. Only then is the true essence of a Zelda game revealed. And the true essence of a Zelda game is an unforgettable journey.